Coming up on UT10 News, a former university employee is charged with stealing thousands.
And we'll also highlight a history-making faculty member who continues to impact students today.
And Savage Arena was busy over the weekend as the Rockets played a critical MAC game against Western Michigan. Your news in 10 minutes starts right now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gabrielle O'Connor.
And I'm Sarah McRitchie. A former UT employee was charged with theft of office.
Reporter Josh Schalk has been investigating this case. Josh, reporters say this was a significant amount of money. What can you tell us?
Well, Sarah and Gabby, between January of 2018 and April of 2019, Jason Woodward transferred about $30,000 into a personal bank account. Ohio Auditor Keith Faber says $22,000 of this amount was used for personal benefit. Woodward worked for the Eberly and the Minority Business Development Centers here on campus.
Based on the investigation, it was clear that he diverted certain revenue, including class fees, from these entities to personal use.
So Josh, if this all happened last year, why are we just hearing about this now?
Well, Sarah, Woodward pleaded guilty to charges back in August of last year, but an audit was just completed recently. Woodward was ordered to pay back the money to UT and given 90 days in work release. If he fails to comply, he could face up to 3 years in a prison. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Josh. Last week we discussed the new solar panels being built on the medical campus.
Reporter Jack Campbell found out that 3.5 years worth of green fund is being put into the project.
The new solar panels being built on the medical campus have an estimated budget of $500,000. $350,000 of this funding came from the Green Fund, which left questions about where the rest of funding came from. The remaining cost came in the form of donated solar panels from First Solar.
They're the Series 5 and they were changing their production line, so they had a lot of these panels. And the Student Green Fund said, hey, we would like to do that.
Once they are built, the solar panels are projected to bring UT's energy consumption down to 6 cents a kilowatt hour. The new solar panels are expected to be finished by early May and fully operational. I'm Jack Campbell, reporting with UT10 News.
In the past 2 years, UT has dropped from top 10 to 21st in Ohio for college nursing programs. That's according to Nursing School's Almanac.
We certainly try to be very organized. You know, there's a lot of orchestration we have 1,300 students in our college.
Multiple students feel that the program is very unorganized, especially when placing students in outside experience, such as clinicals and precepting, which are a nurse's tryout before entering the workforce.
They're not letting anyone choose where they want to precept anymore, and I think it's because they're adding more numbers, so it's harder for them to allow people to choose where they want to go.
The program continues to accept more students, thus increasing cohort size. Larger cohort sizes make it more difficult to give students the hands-on learning needed to get real experience in the field. This is why it is so crucial for students to get as much experience as they can in their undergraduate. I'm Normandy Burrell with UT10 News.
Thanks, Normandy. Mayor Wade Kapsakavich is encouraging voters to vote in favor of Issue 1. If passed, 40% of the funds will go toward road repairs. The mayor says the tax increase would also fund more police officers, universal pre-K, and more. The average person working in Toledo would pay an additional $55 yearly in income tax.
I believe voters will vote in favor of Issue 1, and that is because it will allow us once and for all to fix these terrible roads we have.
Early voting is underway, and the primary election is March 17th. A local radio station is celebrating 23 years on the air as Toledo's first independently Black-owned station. The Juice 107.3 FM is located on Southwick Avenue and was created by Charlie Chuck. This is because he was not allowed to discuss racial issues on the air. The station covers classic hip-hop and R&B.
My father's legacy of why the station was created in the first place, and that was so that the community could have a voice. That we deserve a voice.
The station continues to reach out to the community by offering internships for local high school and college students.
The University of Toledo was funded in 1872, and 100 years later, the Black Student Union was formed.
That same year, the university had its first Black homecoming queen, Faye L. Early.
In 1958, Dr. Lancelot Thompson became the first Black faculty member at the university. After his passing on September 10th of 2016, the student union was renamed and dedicated to him. He served the university for 55 years and still attended faculty meetings a year prior to his passing. Toledo Excel Director David Young says Dr. Thompson's voice and presence carried weight.
The university and everyone else had to deal with everyone else that looked like him in a different way.
Thompson's impact can be felt today as the black student population has grown to 8.1% and faculty to 11.1%.
He paved the way pretty much for a lot of African American faculty and staff we have. The ratio isn't representative, but it is, a start.
Dr. Thompson was a giant advocating for students. His legacy will forever be UT history. I'm Kennedy Ellison, reporting from inside the Lancelot Thompson Student Union for UT 10 News.
Thanks, Kennedy. In fall of 2019, UT students formed the first Black Theater Ensemble. Their goal is to create a space for African American students to speak freely, but also to explore what it means to be a Black actor in today's society. They meet every other Friday at 5 p.m. in the Studio Theater at the Center for Performing Arts. The group is in process of producing an original show to perform at the end of the semester. The Seagate Food Bank runs several programs to help the community beyond just providing food. They're holding the 9th annual Project PJ, which started back in November and ends this Saturday. They collect pajamas, stuffed animals, toothpaste, and other bedtime essentials. The project helps more than 500 families every year.
We are always bridging gaps into in our community where we see that there's a hole. The need for bedtime essentials was one of those needs.
Here are the drop-off locations closest to UT. To get some of these essential items, contact the Seagate Food Bank at 419-244-6996.
Every 2 minutes, a woman in the U.S. is diagnosed with breast cancer.
The Toledo women's basketball team played a game this past weekend to raise awareness about the illness.
Over 5,000 Toledo fans traded in their blue and gold for pink as they attended the 13th annual Rockets for the Cure game last Saturday.
For us, it's more than just athletics or wins or losses. It's what can we do to help make a difference in our community.
10 cancer survivors were honored in a ceremony before the game. Money was raised through ticket and t-shirt sales, a silent auction that included items from the Detroit Red Wings and Toledo football, and a live auction of Toledo women's basketball jerseys. All proceeds go towards the Susan G. Komen Foundation and UTMC Dana Cancer Center.
And those funds go towards breast cancer treatments, mammograms, patient assistance.
While the total amount of money raised is still being calculated, the jersey auction alone raised $10,800. Reporting from Savage Arena, I'm Zain Omer, UT 10 News.
Well, Isaac, we saw the great festivities at Savage Arena. How did the game turn out?
Sarah, importance on the court, importance off the court, one of the most important games for the Rockets this season. There were only 5 games left to go in the regular season for the Midnight Blue and Gold, and they were hoping to climb the rungs of the MAC standings in hopes of a first-round home playoff game. Their opponent, conveniently, the Western Michigan Broncos, the team right ahead of them in the MAC West Division. Let's go ahead and go to the highlights. We'll start in the second quarter with the game tied at 24. It's Ashley Conkle reversing past Lexi Lance, kisses it off the glass for 2. Western Michigan's ahead. But then Tanea Beecham able to pick up the loose ball for the Rockets. Great head fake, and the banks open for the Rocket forward to get UT within 2. Rockets trailed by 2 at the break, but they had trouble stopping Sydney Schaefer in the second half. Drains one from the corner, one of many points she was able to score in the second half. Rockets made a run at the end of the third. Nakia Black from the parking lot. Yes, sir, it's right in. Then a couple of possessions later, Quenisha Lockett does the exact same thing. Finds the open space from downtown. It goes in, and the Rockets trying to make a run late in the game. But Sydney Schaefer was too much. 11 points in 12 minutes of the second half for her. Hits another 3 here, and Western Michigan wins it 70-58. They've now won 4 in a row. Rockets have a 2-game road trip starting tomorrow. They'll go to Muncie, Indiana to take on the Ball State Cardinals. Good news though, Sarah, Gabby, the tennis team, men's tennis team, sweeping Friday and Sunday's matches.
Well, good. We love to hear that. That's it for UT 10 News. For the latest breaking news from campus and bios from all UT 10 reporters, go to our website, ut10news.com.
And remember, you can watch the live stream of our newscast productions every Tuesday at noon and on our YouTube channel. Also, be here to follow us on Twitter for the latest breaking news and updates. For Sarah McRitchie, Isaac Petcash, and all of our crew, I'm Gabrielle Connors. See you next week.